Disclaimer. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as professional psychological advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you're experiencing manipulation or abuse, please contact appropriate professional services. Detecting deception in real time is not about relying on myths or single tells. Scientific research shows that lying creates a cognitive and emotional load that produces observable behavioral patterns. By understanding these patterns, you can identify deception with much higher accuracy. The following 8 signals are validated through interrogation studies, behavioral psychology, and neuroscience. 1. Cognitive load indicators. Lying is mentally taxing. To fabricate a story, the deceiver must suppress the truth, construct a false narrative, monitor your reactions, maintain consistency, and control their own behavior. This mental workload produces observable effects. Research from cognitive psychology demonstrates that increased cognitive load manifests as decreased speech complexity, increased response latency, and reduced hand gestures. Liars often simplify their language and vocabulary because constructing a lie consumes their mental resources. They may hesitate when asked unexpected questions or request repetitions to buy time for crafting their story. Observing someone's baseline communication style and noting simplifications or hesitations during critical questioning can indicate cognitive strain associated with deception. 2. Emotional leakage. Micro-expressions reveal emotions people are trying to conceal. These involuntary facial expressions last only fractions of a second, revealing genuine feelings before they are masked by socially acceptable expressions. Studies by Dr. Paul Ekman show micro-expressions are common when individuals suppress emotions during deception. Brief flashes of fear, contempt, or disgust may appear before a neutral or friendly expression is arranged. Detecting micro-expressions requires careful observation, preferably against a baseline of normal facial expressiveness. While some people naturally have expressive faces and others are stoic, patterns of rapid emotional leakage can signal hidden feelings of guilt or anxiety associated with lying. 3. Verbal distancing. Deceivers often unconsciously distance themselves from their lies through language. They may avoid first-person pronouns, use passive voice, or employ generalized terms like people or one. For instance, instead of saying, "I arrived at work at 9 a.m., a liar might say, "Work started around 9. Temporal distancing, minimizing words such as just or simply, and euphemisms are also common. These linguistic patterns reduce psychological discomfort from acknowledging the lie directly. By comparing normal speech to moments of abstraction, vagueness, or detachment, observers can identify verbal cues consistent with deception. 4. Inconsistency patterns. False narratives often contain contradictions because they are constructed rather than remembered. Liars may present temporal inconsistencies, detail changes, logical contradictions, or emotional mismatches. For example, the timeline may not add up, details such as whether or people involved may shift, and emotional reactions may seem exaggerated or flat. Techniques like asking events in reverse order or probing peripheral details reveal inconsistencies, as truth-tellers can recall context from experience, while liars rely on memory reconstruction. While minor inconsistencies are normal, repeated or significant contradictions suggest deception under cognitive strain. 5. Deflection and evasion. Question avoidance is a hallmark of deception. Liars often attempt to redirect the conversation, answer a different question, counter-question, or attack the question itself. Over-explaining irrelevant details while avoiding the core issue is another common tactic. Observing repeated evasion or indirect responses, particularly when neutral questions are answered directly, can indicate dishonesty. Persistent attempts to avoid discussion, emotional manipulation, and topic changes all signal discomfort with revealing the truth. 6. Defensive overcompensation. Those who lie often overcompensate to appear credible. They provide unnecessary details, use unprompted oath-taking, offer unsolicited character references, or preemptively defend themselves. For example, instead of saying, "I was at home," a liar may respond with a long explanation, swearing on family members, providing proof, or invoking third-party validation. This overcompensation arises from awareness that credibility is in question and anxiety about being detected. Truthful individuals rarely engage in such elaborate defense because their story is consistent and self-evident. 7. Behavioral adapters. Lying creates stress, which the body manages through self-soothing behaviors, known as adapters. Common adapters include touching the face, rubbing the neck, fidgeting with objects, or manipulating hair. These behaviors are largely unconscious and serve to regulate stress induced by deception. Detecting adapters requires establishing a baseline of normal behavior and observing clusters of these behaviors during critical questioning. While adapters alone do not confirm lying, they indicate heightened stress that may accompany dishonesty. 8. Baseline deviation analysis. Individual differences make universal deception cues unreliable. The most effective approach is baseline deviation analysis, observing a person's normal behavior in neutral situations and identifying deviations during critical topics. Changes in eye contact, speech style, emotional expressiveness, or gesturing compared to their baseline can indicate deception. For example, someone who normally maintains steady eye contact may avoid it when lying, or someone who is animated may suddenly become stiff. Context is crucial, as deviations alone do not prove dishonesty, but they provide a reliable comparative measure for detecting deception. Integrating signals for accuracy. Reliable deception detection requires combining multiple indicators rather than relying on a single behavior. Cognitive load, verbal distancing, and defensive overcompensation together increase the probability of detecting lies. Using techniques such as strategic questioning, topic variation, unexpected questions, and timeline techniques helps uncover inconsistencies. Research shows trained observers using multiple signals achieve 60 to 90% accuracy compared to untrained observers' chance-level performance. Ethical application is vital. These tools should serve self-protection and informed decision-making, not manipulation. Practice and improvement. Deception detection is a skill that improves with practice. Start by observing baseline behaviors in low-stakes conversations, practice identifying signals in video interviews, and learn from feedback on accuracy. Focus on pattern recognition rather than single cues. Avoid common pitfalls such as confirmation bias, over-reliance on folk beliefs, ignoring context, or cultural insensitivity. Mindful practice and willingness to update assumptions will significantly enhance your ability to detect deception over time. When detection matters most. Use these skills strategically in high-stakes situations, such as relationship trust assessment, professional verification, legal or financial negotiations, and personal safety. Ethical, situational application ensures that detection techniques are used responsibly to make informed choices, rather than to manipulate or control others. Being able to observe, interpret, and respond appropriately empowers you to protect yourself and your decisions in critical situations. You now understand evidence-based deception detection techniques used by professionals. Practice these signals in real conversations to develop this valuable skill. Which signal do you find most reliable? Have you caught deception using any of these? Share your experiences in the comments. Subscribe for psychology content grounded in research, not myths. I post weekly videos on behavioral analysis and interpersonal psychology. Next video. Body language patterns that reveal hidden emotions and intentions. This pairs perfectly with today's deception detection techniques. This content is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Creating videos on these topics takes a lot of research and hard work. If you enjoy the content, The best way to support us is by subscribing to our channel and leaving a like and comment. Your support motivates us to keep delivering high-quality videos. It is not professional psychological advice, therapy, or medical guidance. The information presented is based on psychological research and principles but should not replace consultation with licensed mental health professionals. If you are experiencing abuse, manipulation, or mental health concerns, please contact National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. Crisis Text Line. Text HOME to 741741, your local mental health services. The creator and channel are not responsible for any actions taken based on this information.